The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, today on Aging Horizons, we're going to be talking about Area 5 Agency on Aging and SHIP and all the other resources that they have going on there down in Butte. We have a great guest with us today. She's the SHIP coordinator as well as a resource specialist, and she's going to be able to tell us everything we need to know. So don't go away.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
I have so many questions about power of attorney.
Well, some powers of attorney are for finances and others are for healthcare decisions.
A power of attorney designates an agent who would make decisions on your behalf.
While making a power of attorney, you have the ability to control your agent's power.
You also have the ability to decide when that POA would take effect.
Wait, am I giving away all my rights?
Power of attorney isn't a license to make any decision for you, just those that you've specified.
Your agent should be somebody that's working in your best interest, but it should also be somebody that you would trust.
What if they try to abuse their power?
Protective measures like third-party accounting, secondary signatures, defined spending and gifting limits can help protect against financial exploitation. An agent's powers can always be limited by a customized power of attorney, and they can be revoked by you or the court if the power of attorney is abused.
So carefully drafted estate planning documents can help ensure that your finances are monitored, but not abused.
If you or someone you know is being exploited, please report to Aging Services Bureau at 844-277-9300 or the Legal Service Developer at 1-800-332-2272. This message sponsored by the DPHHS Aging Service Bureau.
Respite care is amazing. If you are capable of doing it, the rewards are beyond measure.
Stephanie Young, respite care provider, on the unexpected benefits of helping people in need.
Being a respite care provider is an amazing experience. It's something that what you give, you get back 100-fold. You receive so much more than you could ever imagine.
To find out how to change lives, including your own, go to respite.mt.gov.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Kimmy Everman, and as I said in our open, we're going to be talking about, in general, Area 5 today, which is out of Butte, but also lots of discussion about their SHIP services, their Medicare advocacy, and also a few other things that they have available there at the area agency. We have Cheryl Petersley today. Hi, Cheryl. It's good to have you.
Thank
you.
And
Cheryl, you're the SHIP coordinator as well as a resource specialist there at Area 5. And let me just, I guess for our audience to know, we name our areas numbers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10, and it just means that you have a section of the state that you cover, correct?
Yes.
So what are the counties that you cover? Because I know your main office is in Butte.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
What's the address?
2103 Harrison Avenue.
Great. And then in terms of what other counties are part of your beat,
right.
What do you do?
So we cover 6 counties. Butte is in Silverbow County, so of course we cover that. Granite County, Powell County, Deer Lodge County, Madison, and Beaverhead.
Super,
Granite.
Which means that the person doesn't have to, because a lot of times Helena is the place that we expect people to be, but this is different, isn't it?
Yes. We also, our agency really doesn't cover Jefferson County, but we have so many people from Whitehall that we help, especially during the Medicare open enrollment, just because it's way easier to get over the hill to Butte than has to
That's
come to
great
Helena.
to hear. Because I think one thing that I always like to point out to folks in our audience is that we're committed to no wrong door. That means, and all that means is that if you show up, even if it's not technically your area, we're going to do our best to help you, right?
Yes, yes.
And just make sure that that person has whatever information they need.
Right. And that's, like I said, we're more of a resource center because we're so small. You know, we have a handful of people.
Sure.
Try to remember when people call in, because of the cell phones, you can't really, you know, they would get our office, they may be in Browning, or, you know, then we try to send them to their area on aging closer, you know.
Because part of that is that we want folks to be close.
Right. Just
to
easier.
their, yes, because it's easier physically, you know, it's hard to drive someplace far away. And
Right. I mean, we still do a ton of phone appointments.
Sure.
Because, you know, sometimes people just can't get to us.
Sure. Sure. Well, and we all know that the weather in Montana can be prohibitive to getting somewhere. And so it's really nice to have it be close or over the phone, like you said.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit more about your resources at the area agency, because there's meals, there's like, how does that look, Cheryl?
So we manage the commodity supplemental food program, or commodities, basically senior commodities, anyone income based but over 60 and over, and it's every other month. So my boss, Joe Gilboy, is our director. He kind of handles that for the most part, and his assistant. We chime in, you know, if we're not busy, we go and fill boxes or whatever.
Because it's a big job, Yes, it's a big job.
Yeah, but it's awesome. I'm not sure how many people he, you know, I think he gets between 100 and 150 people on those, you know, distribution days. And then other people in the communities, you know, low income housing.
Right. And that's just a lovely box of nutritious, good tasting food.
Yes. Yeah, it's great.
Because, you know, one of the things that I think about is that today's commodities are not yesterday's.
Exactly. Yeah.
Much more emphasis on really healthy, good food.
Right. And it's, I think people get still 2 boxes of food. So, I mean, it's not going to last, you know, but it helps in conjunction with the food bank maybe, or you know, their food stamps or whatever other assistance.
Sure, and just gives you another, I like to call it a trick in my bag. Because you have to have a lot of different things to make it all stretch through. Now, and you know, you have the ombudsman there in your office, and that's advocacy for folks in nursing homes.
Yes. And assisted living.
And assisted care, living, exactly. And then you have an options counselor.
We do. Mary Fleming is kind of stepped back from the ombudsman position, and now she's doing more options counseling, which is basically assisting families with their options.
Just like it sounds.
A family member may be needing to go into a nursing home, or helping them with Medicaid applications. Whatever.
All the hard stuff.
Yes, she's our guru of the Medicaid applications.
Well, Cheryl, we're going to really dive into that when we come back. And you know, folks, the area agencies, the system is set up so that it's close, it's in your community, you're familiar, and you can go there and pretty much figure out if there's anything available to you for benefits. We have so much more to talk about, and we want to tell you about Medicare, so come on back.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. at least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
You mean I can get help paying my prescription drug premiums?
Let me get this straight. I could be eligible for help with my family's prescription premiums even though I own my own home?
And our assets won't be counted.
If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you could be eligible for help paying your premiums. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out, even if you think you're over income.
What do you know about that? I'm eligible.
When I found out it was diabetes, my first thought was, Barb, you need help. You have to take control of this. There is help. My doctor gave me a phone number. I called and signed up with a diabetes educator. There is help. I have to put blinders on when I walk past the bakery counter. I can feel my blood sugar go up. You succeed a little at a time. If you have diabetes, help is available. You do not have to do it alone.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here with Cheryl Petersley today talking about, first of all, we talked about the Area Agency on Aging out of Butte, which is Area 5. And now we're going to move into the really important stuff, the Medicare advocacy, the Medicare guidance. You're the SHIP coordinator for Area 5, which means you have even more hats to wear than you normally do. But Cheryl, talk a bit about what does it mean to be a SHIP counselor?
SHIP counselor. Yeah. Pretty much anything Medicare, well, and Medicaid also. Yeah. But Medicare, we have the course, the busiest time of the year, October 15th through December 7th, open enrollment for anyone who wants to change or look at their drug plan and make sure it's still the best Medicare drug plan going into the next year. Or, people ask, well, that you must not work the rest, the other 7 months. And then it's like, no, people are turning 65 or coming onto Medicare with disabilities all year round. So,
and that's been an interesting evolution of the SHIP program for me to watch, because I agree. I remember when Part D came and we all thought we won't be busy outside of that 6 or 8 weeks, and then it turned out to be an all-year thing. Because you're right, people are turning 65 all the time. And needing to get those drug plans, and that although that's huge, what else would a SHIP counselor do in terms of, like if somebody has a billing issue or something, can you help with that?
We do, and I'm also, I guess I'm called the SMP coordinator, which is Senior Medicare Patrol. Used to be called, I think it's just an acronym now, but basically anyone who may think Medicare fraud, weird things on their bills. We stress to people, please read your Medicare summary notices every 3 months, or if they have a My Medicare or Medicare.gov account, they can do that.
In almost real time,
Awesome.
It's awesome. So, I think it's in terms of a SHIP counselor, we're just talking about an overall advocate.
Right. I mean, walk people through, especially when they're new to Medicare, because it's so overwhelming. It doesn't matter the age.
And as you said, too, Medicaid might come into the picture, and there might be a veterans coverage or an IHS or Indian Health Service. coverage. And those are all things that you will help a person kind of trudge through. And that doesn't mean you know the answer to every question, but you know where to look.
Exactly.
And that's so important. So, but let's also, speaking of important, let's talk about the helping programs for Medicare, because so important. We've got the Medicare savings, we've got the low income subsidy or LIS, Big Sky, Medicaid. Talk a bit about it.
Medicaid.
Yeah.
And we try to, anyone I talk to, unless you know that they're not going to qualify, but basically we just go over people's income and resource, what they have, and kind of walk them through that process. And then we can help them apply for the Medicare Savings Program, 3 different levels of income and resources.
Okay, and before we move on, let's talk about what is the Medicare Savings Program helping with?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's my fault because
So basically, if you qualify income and resource wise, then the state will pick up your Medicare Part B premium, which this year is $170.10. Also, depending on their income, if people have never signed up for Medicare A, it also, they can buy them in. There's probably a more technical term.
You're right. That's exactly the term, buy them in.
Right.
So that is going to be helping with B.
Part B.
Right. What about D? D for drugs. Is there any help for that?
Yes, LIS, or low income subsidy, also known as extra help, which most people know it by. Again, a higher income, but income and resource based, but that's where the federal government, if you qualify, will pay up to a certain amount on a premium. And the best part of that is it really helps with co-pays on especially expensive drugs.
Well, yes.
Drugs in general.
Yes. And I think this might be a good time, too, to mention that, we hear from folks, well, I don't take any meds.
Right.
Well, if you don't have a med plan, you might have a consequence later. So it's to use one of the helping programs to cover
really
that
helps.
is really good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And people do. You're right. I'm healthy. I don't take any medications. And then it's like, well, there's one that's $7 a month. You should sign up because you'll be penalized later.
Exactly. And we can get, and then finally, just very quickly, because we're almost done here, is the Big Sky RX.
Right, and that is through the state of Montana, funded by tobacco tax, still, I believe. But a higher income income level, and they do not count your resources. So
which is very awesome. Very, very awesome.
They don't help with copays, but they also don't count resources.
Well, and also these are folks in that program that maybe have never really been eligible for anything. And so it's a nice a nice place for them to be. Well, we're going to talk some more about this when we come back, and folks, it's so important for you to know about those helping programs. Hand up, not hand out. Come on back. We have a lot more for you.
Summer in Montana is a great time to visit your local farmer's market. Enjoy the social atmosphere while shopping for a wide variety of fresh, locally grown produce. Together with both WIC and Senior Farmers Market nutrition programs, you help feed your family 5 or more daily servings of fruits and vegetables for better health. You also help local ag producers and enhance the state's economy. So, for summer fun that's nutritious and helps Montana's economy, shop at your local farmers market.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I've been shooting since I was young. It's something I've always enjoyed. wasn't feeling like myself, and my friend noticed. He asked if he could hold onto my guns temporarily. At first, I was a little shocked, but then I agreed. I think he saved my life that day.
This is Bill. He just received his new Medicare card and is following some simple rules to protect himself from fraud. He knows to never give out his Medicare, Social Security, or bank number over the phone. And this is Nancy. She knows that to detect any problems, she always reads her Medicare summary notice or Medicare Advantage EOB to make sure the billing is correct. Both Bill and Nancy know that anything suspicious can be reported to Montana SMP at 1-800-551-3191.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're here with Cheryl Petersley today, who is the coordinator, SHIP coordinator, as well as a resource specialist out of Area 5, which is Butte. So glad to have you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Before we sort of move on, I want to just tie up the loose ends on SHIP. First of all, how do they get to you?
They can call we have a toll-free number that's scrolling across the screen right now, I believe. And if you have a cell phone, probably better just to call the direct number.
Okay.
Because then you get the right
the cell
area.
Phones can get you a little screwed up in terms of
you may get billings or you know what I mean. But
right. And just so our audience knows what we're talking about, it's the system is set up with landlines, unfortunately, that wherever you call from, it rings to your
that area on aging,
exactly.
for your area.
But the cell phones have thrown a wrench into that a little bit. So, but that doesn't mean that if you call if you get the incorrect area agency, that they won't get you to the right one, because they
will. Yes.
Yeah. No wrong door.
No.
And then the other thing that I wanted to ask you about, so folks can understand your processes, how do you do appointments these days for SHIP?
So right now, we're in the office. We're doing in-person appointments by appointment only, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And then the staff is still working from home at this point on Mondays and Fridays. We do a ton of phone appointments, did through the whole pandemic, of course. So, but some people are nervous and still want to do phones, and others want to do the face-to-face.
Sure, exactly.
So it works for everyone, really.
And so again, we can put those your phone numbers on the screen. They should call, right? Don't just show up or something like that, because we want to make sure that you're ready for that person, and that you have time enough to spend.
Yes, and we check our messages, of course, on the days that we're working from home, and schedule appointments, because it's just way smoother and easier for everyone.
Well, that sounds great, and I'm willing to bet folks are okay with it for the most part.
Yes.
Because I know myself, if I don't have to go anywhere and I can just call, that's for me.
Right. But there are so many people that, especially new to Medicare, they're like, I want to sit down face to face, you know what I mean, and go over the options.
And you can't blame them.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
That's a situation where, like you said, what maybe new to Medicare, man, that's overwhelming.
Lots of different options.
Yes. Well, I also want to discuss the Governor's Conference on Aging, because it's going to be in Butte this year.
Butte, yes, was supposed to before, and then COVID hit. So from what I hear, it's October 4th and 5th. You can also do it virtually, but it will be at the Copper King Hotel and Convention Center in Butte, and we're looking forward to showcasing our fun city.
Well, number one, it's so fun to have it back.
It is,
if you will,
in person.
I mean, we've had the governor's conferences sort of in the last few years, but it's fun to think we're going to be back to maybe seeing each other and having, a sort of a great conference that way. And as you said, it's a hybrid. You can either come in person.
Sure, right.
Or you can do virtual.
Which is...
and for folks to be able to make that choice.
Right. Perfect. Actually.
Yeah, it really is, and I know I know that there's an excitement building about it, and that is going to be very fun, and it'll be fun to have.
It will be.
To be back together.
In person, yes,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, well, Cheryl, we have talked about everything today, and I want to maybe wind up with, how do we get a hold of you?
Okay, and so you can call, again, the toll-free number or the direct line. Leave a message if you don't get a real person, and someone will call you back to schedule an appointment.
Because you're checking those appointments.
Yes.
You may not be in the office every day, but you're checking that voicemail
daily.
Several times day.
Daily, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in terms of the conference, we'll put the aging website up on the screen. There'll be more information there soon.
I hope,
as we get it.
Yes.
Yeah, as we get it.
Right now in the initial planning stage.
Yeah.
Be fun.
And then just know that you guys are available not only for Medicare and not only for the helping programs, but meals and
home health. I mean, we get questions about everything. Auto mechanics. That's not my deal, but I know where to send them, right?
Well, and again, one of the things that I love about our area agency system is that there is no wrong door.
Exactly.
You said that about the auto mechanics. Well, no, we don't know how to fix a car, but we can figure out somebody that we can call or help that person call.
Yes.
Because I think that one of the hardest things today, especially with isolation and pandemic and stuff, is how do I navigate through this?
Right.
And make sure that I'm doing right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are resource center.
Well, Cheryl, it's been great having you. I'm so glad that you were on with us today, and I hope you'll come back. Anytime?
If you don't fire me from this today.
All right.
Well,
thank
folks,
you. It's been a great show, and we're so glad that you were with us. Come on back next time for Aging Horizons.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.